Okay, welcome back, mind shifters. Welcome back to a new trading week. This is Jeff here with FXMindshift, and welcome to your Sunday weekly review. So this week, as you see from the calendar, we've got a couple of red folders here we're going to be watching for in the beginning of the week, right on Monday, the start of the week here, we've got all of our PMI folders. So starting from 3:15 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. London Open, we've got Euro and GBP. PMI services, manufacturing PMI services folders. We've also got one here in the US session, 9:45 as well. So that's going to be on Monday. Tuesday looks pretty calm. We've just got one red folder in the US session, 10 a.m., CB consumer confidence. Wednesday, there's nothing. Thursday will also be interesting. We've got USD final GDP, the unemployment claims at 8:30. But we also have this Fed Chair Powell speech here at 9:20, and that should also bring some extra volatility. This could go either way. It really depends, whether what he talks about has already been implicated, because usually you have to wait till he speaks, and then you have to, figure out if that, then is going to affect markets after what he says is kind of interpreted. But, it also depends on what he's talking about here. So we could see something happen at 9:20. It could also be a delayed effect. But Thursday is obviously something that we want to watch for in terms of news as well. And then Friday, we've got at 8:30 a.m. USD Core PCE Price Index, right? So that is pretty much our news for the week. We've got some heavy news in the beginning, more towards the end. And in the middle, we've got, sort of calmer waters ahead. So let's take a look at the charts. We're going to go over to the DXY chart. All right, monthly perspective, monthly top down. As you can see, we really haven't moved outside of the range much. I figured FOMC would do a little bit more in terms of movement. We'll take a look at the lower time frames in a second, but you can see here from the monthly that we're still pretty much bearish on the dollar, right? And the target here is still intact. We're still looking for a price to run that low eventually, but we are moving lower. We still are moving lower. So moving a little bit closer to that 100 mark, okay? And keep in mind that we're still inside of a consolidation. So it doesn't mean that we're just going to go straight for this. I mean, we could come back up a little bit, but we come back down. We could still do some more consolidating. And this is a monthly chart with monthly candles. So each of these represents a month, right? And so in order for this to move, a month has to go by. So you have to take that into consideration when looking at these, higher time frame charts. But overall, we can agree that price is still currently bearish, right? But we're at the low end of the range here, okay? So let's take a look at the weekly chart. And let's look at the weekly ranges here. So on the weekly, we can see that, as I said, right at the low end of the range, right? We did take out this kind of internal low here, okay? And we are still moving lower. So like I said, price is still bearish. It still looks, the order flow still looks bearish. But we did, kind of trade below this low here, and we are trading to this, structural low here this is about just below the 100 mark, okay? So we will expect price to continue to run lower until we really see some sort of reaction. In this case here on the weekly, we're still, looking to target that low and looking to go lower, all right? On the daily, okay, what you will notice, and if we drop to the daily markups here, okay, is that, while we did break below here on the daily structure, okay, the pullback here wasn't very strong, so we came back up into this imbalance here. We made sort of an M structure, and then we continued to move down. However, we did not break the previous structural low, okay? Now this was, I believe right here, this was the FOMC candle from last week. And this was, the reaction from the GDP news. But overall, you can see that we basically came down below the structure here, took out the lows, and then came right back up. We did not close below this structure. So we are currently still sitting inside of this, kind of mini daily range here, okay? So until we actually get a clean break through that level, right, I'm going to be expecting price to hold the level and even pull back into the range, right? So we're looking for price to now come back into the range here. I'm going to be looking for price to maybe make a run back up to this high, okay, and then trade back up into this premium here, and then continue to consolidate, because we are in sort of like a consolidation here. So I will be expecting the run back up here. That will be my liquidity target, okay, because we already took out the lows below here, right? And so we are making a run back up, and if we are targeting something, that'll be the internal high there, right, on the daily. Now, if we drop down to the 4, let's see if I can kind of corroborate that on the 4 hour, right? Again, if you look at the 4 hour structure, okay, now we did take out this low, right? But you'll see that we did not make a clean break below. It's all wicks basically, right? And this was the FOMC candle, okay, that came down and took out the lows below this structure, okay, and then we went back up pretty aggressively, and then when we came back down here, again, we did another sweep below the level, but we did not break, okay, and we have a pretty strong move back to the upside here. So I'm going to be waiting for price to hold low here and make a run back up for this high here. So we're going to be basically looking for something like this, right? It's pulled back a bit here, so I want to see price hold somewhere over here, right? And then we'll make a run back up towards this high. Okay, so I'm looking for kind of like the bottom, the inverted head and shoulders, right? We've got the low here, right? And this is the right shoulder, and making its way back up towards this high here, right? So that's going to be the plan for me for the dollar. I'm going to be looking for that, you know, this week. Okay. Another thing that I want you to note as we go through EU and GU, we'll come back to this chart, okay? But let's take a look at EU first, so that you can see what I'll be referring to in a second. All right, but here on the monthly, right, we can see here from EU monthly perspective, it's still looking pretty bullish to me. We're coming out of the consolidation, and so we're making a run. So this is still going to be the monthly target, okay? And remember, monthly target, monthly candles, right? It should take, I don't know how long it's going to take, but that should be the next target that we run, okay? But that doesn't mean that we can't also still continue to consolidate in here, right? We did take out this internal high, and you know, we were expecting price to pull back into the monthly OB here. That still could happen, right? Even though this is kind of playing out kind of slow because it's monthly candles. So from this perspective here, I'm still looking for price to take out this high, and I'm still looking at price being bullish or continuing to be bullish on the monthly chart. Let's go down to the weekly and take a look at the weekly. So if we look at the weekly candles, we can see that price has broken out of this internal range. Okay, we took that out. We had a reaction. We came back into the weekly OB here, right? A reaction to that and a move up. So this high here could potentially be the next target, which is right above where we are. Basically 112 big figure, and then just above that we have the high, structural high up here, above the 112.70, so we could say about 113. Okay, so we're looking at, you know, basically price to run the big figure levels, right? 112 to 113 as we're moving upwards. If we go down to the daily, okay, let's take a look at the daily. And we can see that there's the reaction, right? This is the daily perspective here, but this was the weekly OB that it reacted to. And then we saw price come up, okay, and trade up. However, we did not take out this high, okay? And that's going to be important to note because you can see we just fell short of this level here, okay? And so if we look at this in contrast to, let's go to the 4 hour. Okay, 4 hours shows that price is definitely still bullish, right? We did see, here's the FOMC candle, right? We came down into this. Now, this looks like it would be, you know, a pretty strong sell-off if we had taken liquidity above the highs up here and then sold off like this, right? But you can see as soon as we came down, we came right back up, okay, right back up into this level here. So there is a good chance that we could see price run that high, but we did not take it out. So there is price is still holding this level here. Okay, so it still means that structurally we still could see price continue down. We did get the change of character here. If price holds the level, we're basically inside of this range. Okay, so you guys are following me here. Okay, this is the current 4-hour range, and because we came down from the sweep up here, the FOMC candle sweep, and we came down pretty aggressively, we can see that we have the change of character breaking below the low here, right? And so trading back up into this premium here is where we would expect price to go. But from here, right, if we were to follow the structure, we should see price hold this level and then continue down. Okay, and if we don't break this wick, basically the FOMC wick, okay, and that's basically what I'm looking for. And another scenario would be that if we come back up again, you know, just above the wick here, but still holding the structure over here, right, not breaking that structure, but basically another liquidity sweep, okay, and then coming down, that would also be a possibility. But the reason I'm saying this is if you look at the dollar and the 4-hour chart, okay, remember we took out this level here. So there is a very clear divergence or fractional disparity that you can see from this low to this low over here, right? We took that out, okay? But from Euro on the 4-hour, that should mean that we have a 4-hour higher high, right? And this should have taken out this level here, but we did not get that, okay? So there is a clear divergence right now from here, which tells me that there is more selling pressure on this particular chart, okay? And that means that price could potentially hold this level here. So I'm going to be watching this area very carefully when we open the market, because we've got the PMI news on Monday right at the start of the open, right, for Euro. So it's going to tell me a lot. If price does not break this level here and holds it and continues down, we're going to see price sell off. Okay, and the reason I say that also is because when we go over to GU, you'll see that GU does take the high, okay, and we'll go over that right now. But let's go over to GU now, and I'll show you that. Okay, so GU from the monthly, we can see it's no change really from what we saw last week. Basically, price had traded into the monthly OB here, into the imbalance. We had just taken out this internal high here, and it was still bullish, right? And we're still looking for price to continue up. However, you know, because we were in this monthly OB in this imbalance area, because we had taken out this high, we were expecting maybe price to pull back first and then continue up, right? But obviously you can see that price is still very bullish, right? Still moving higher. Okay, from a weekly perspective, we can also see the same thing, right? And in case you were not, you know, thinking this was bullish, we took out the structure, right? We took out the high, and we also traded back into the imbalance here, back to the mitigation of that high there, and we saw another reaction and another push up, which took out the highs over here, okay? Which also incidentally took out the highs over here, which we were targeting, right? But just barely, okay? So all of the targets above have been basically reached that we were looking for last week, okay? And we just took out another high here, but you can see the very bullish reaction that we got at the close of the week, okay? So there's no reason to really, you know, think that this is going to be bearish anytime soon. But if we look at, once again, let's go down to the daily and the 4-hour. Okay, the daily, we can see that we took out this structure. Okay, and you know, still bullish, right? Taking out the high of the structure here. But you know, when we take out a significant level or key level, and in this case here we took out the 133 big figure, we're going to expect some sort of pullback back into the range. Okay, and if we go down to the 4-hour and we look at the 4-hour, we can see that price did take out that structure. So this high over here, as we did not take it out in Euro, right? Remember over here you can see, right? We did not take it out, but we did take it out in GU, and we also took out the low in DXY. So there is a fractional disparity, a divergence that's happening here, which basically tells us that there is, you know, basically Euro weakness, okay, and that we're going to probably see price come down. Now we have to wait till the markets open and react to the news. Obviously, like I said, if it does not take this level out here, that's a pretty good indication that we're going to see Euro sell off. All right, and also if we see, because we don't see a 4-hour change of character just yet here on GU, okay, we're going to also need to see that as well. But we can see we've got 1, 2, 3 drives up, okay, and then we just need to see a very big shift or some kind of reaction to the news at the start of the week here for GU, right? And then we can have a sell-off, Okay, otherwise, we'll have to just kind of play it by ear, wait and see, and maybe something will happen at the or near the end of the week, towards the Fed Chair Powell speech. Okay, so we'll kind of take that play by play here. Let's go over to gold. All right, so on the monthly chart, you can see gold this week was just a freight train, right? We just went up. We didn't stop at all, basically. Went straight through 2,500, went straight through 2,600 even, okay? And it's still very bullish. We ended the week bullish, all right? On the monthly, you can see that we're also bullish. And if we go to the weekly here, you can also see that we're very bullish, okay? So there's really no slowing it down just yet. However, because this is at the all-time highs, right? And it's because we did take out a big figure at 2,600. We're going to expect some sort of pullback, right? So maybe we'll see that at the start of the week. Obviously, we're not going to, speculate, okay? Because at the start of the week here, I mean, if you were trying to sell this off this week, you got basically murdered, right? If you did try to sell off here, you might have gotten a short-term sell-off, but you definitely didn't get anything long-term that planned out. So, the same thing here. We were expecting price to come back into the weekly OB. It didn't even get down into that weekly OB. It just kind of took off, right? So the same thing here this week. We're going to be expecting price to come back to the daily OB cluster here, all right? And there's no guarantee that it'll do that, even that as well. But this is going to be where we expect price to now react when we come back in, okay? If it does come back in. And then just, pay attention to this level here. It's going to be right around the 2,600 level, okay? But this, if it does give us a turnaround, we're going to see a change of character. So a daily change of character or a 4-hour change of character is going to be a pretty good indication that we might see a reversal, right? So there's nothing, I mean, the 4-hour change of character is going to be all the way down here, or at this point here, down here. So there's still a ways to go before we see something like that. And maybe the PMI news at the start of the week will give us something right away, or maybe we'll have to wait until Thursday's Powell news for that. But don't jump the gun here. Just like we did this week. This was FOMC, right? You can see here we came down pretty aggressively. We swept liquidity. We came down pretty aggressively, but right after that, came right back up. That should have been a clear indication that we were not ready to come down just yet, right? Big fake out here. Especially after taking out the FOMC candle. I mean, so this level here is going to be sensitive, okay? And if we come back to that level, see if the reaction that we get here into this cluster. So we've got the 4-hour kind of OB cluster here with the mitigation of that candle, okay? So this will be an area to watch on the return. All right, so that's gold. NASDAQ on the monthly, as you can see, still holding the monthly OB, right? The wick rejection here, got another rejection from the move down, okay? And the high is still intact, so we're still kind of playing inside of this range, which makes it difficult. If we go to the weekly chart, we can see the nice reaction and the reaction from the reaction that we got here. And as we mentioned last week, this level, right, that weekly imbalance level, I had seen the equal highs there, right, and then the imbalance level, so I wanted to see it run back into this pocket, and that's what we got, which is really nice to see. However, there wasn't really, a lot of movement. As you can see, the start of the week here, we just kind of did a little consolidation, and then we got that one big move up after FOMC, which traded into that level, and then we got a reaction down. So I feel like this is enough for the reaction down, so if we start to see price sell off here, we could probably take that on the way down. However, there's still definitely room above, right, to go up to that level still. So, sorry, let's put the dailies up here, okay? There's still a little bit of room. You can see the imbalance here is still pretty much still intact. We can still trade up into that. So this little pullback here, as long as we hold the daily OB from the reaction, as you can see, because we already basically traded into it right here. So from this push, if we push back up, we can still make it up into that daily imbalance. So if we go to the 4-hour and we take a look at the 4-hour structure, okay, I've got this area marked on the 4-hour as well because it's basically refined from the daily. But right here, that reaction that we're getting from this level here, if we can see price continue to push from there, then we'll see price take out this level here and go higher. Okay, so don't count out this range just yet. This is going to be the 4-hour range. Okay, and anything down here, below here, okay, even, you know, as long as the low holds, we can look for a continuation. So I'm going to be looking for something like this, basically. Okay. All right. So if you watch this and you see it sell off, you know, look for the reaction inside of this consolidation here for the buy back up. Okay. If we completely trade through the level and we get that 4-hour change of character, then we switch basically to the shorts and then we can sell off. Okay, that'll be interesting to watch play out for this week here. And that pretty much is the rundown, guys. Okay, so if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them for me below. You can also message me direct via Telegram. In the description, if you guys are not part of the free membership, I urge you to join at least for free. You guys will get these updates and these videos before anyone else. I post these in the membership before I post them on the YouTube channel, so you'll get them firsthand before anyone else. If you guys are interested in the day-by-day breakdowns, because this is obviously the weekly review, but if you are interested in the day-by-day breakdowns for each trading day and, you know, the potential setups that could happen throughout the day, I urge you guys to join the VIP Academy, and that will be also in the description as well. You can kind of upgrade from that from the free membership if that is something that interests you as well. So again, if any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, that is pretty much going to do it for this video, guys. Hope you guys have a great trading week, and we'll see you on the next video.
Feel me.